All right.
You're not what I'm looking at.
We are live, they say. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shoot some content. Or as Gary Vee says, content! So I'm going to go outside. All right. We're going to coordinate this somehow. We got some people joining in. All right. If you're allowed, drop some shit in the chat. Know what I'm saying? You feel me? Hey! Matthew turning up back again. You can hear me okay? All right. Thanks for letting me know. What I'm going to do, I'm going to shoot some content outside. And while I shoot the content outside, y'all can just be a cook and see me shoot content. And you can drop some questions, and in between my shooting sessions, maybe I'll answer it. All right? So what we're going to do. All right? We're going outside. All right? Let me move some water pato. Just maybe I was born for this shit. Maybe I was born to be a streamer. I was born for this shit, June.
Born in the dark.
I was born in the darkness. Bro, it is fucking. It's hot outside, yo. Summertime sitting in Dubai. You feel me? Who the funk? What am I missing? I'm gonna set my laptop there. I don't know how long it's gonna last. Maybe a good while. All right, we got more people joining in. You don't want to be a cook, please no. Well, too bad. Too late, because I'm gonna be making love to that camera outside. It's gonna be a cook. All right. So let me move this shit outside. Let's see if the Wi-Fi holds up, yeah? Let's see if the Wi-Fi holds up. Don't want to be a cook. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Dubai, as always. You see the world's tallest building, Burj Khalifa in the background. All right. Maybe this should be my fucking thumbnail. Let me take a screenshot real quick. It's gonna be a thumbnail later. I wonder if I can zoom out to make it look better. Fuck. Good enough. When did I get my first mentor? Sales mentor? I would say Jeremy. Like proper, I would say. Maybe. It was like 2 weeks into my sales career. Do you feel you were good at sales due to dating industry when you first got into the industry? Absolutely. I would say that had the biggest contribution. For sure. By the way, let me know if the connection becomes a bit choppy because I'm outside in my balcony right now. So let's see if this holds up, you know what I'm saying? Or if you can even hear me okay. I'm going to set it closely as possible. So, A-E-O-U. Mic test, mic motherfucking test. Oh, I got to get my mic. Hold up. Be right back. So, yeah, I'll say they had the biggest contribution. You can still hear and see me okay? Okay. I hear you, but I don't see you. This is one of the biggest, best purchases I had. The salesman did a great job at selling me this, by the way. You know what he did? He didn't sell me. He just like, hey, bro, just try it out, try it out. Like, I don't know, man. Just try it out, man. And I tried it out. The audio quality was so fucking good. I was like, yo, you know, it's kind of like when people go through our free content on YouTube, they're like, fuck, I got a gig. I landed a role. I closed a deal from it. This guy's motherfucking free content. Or this motherfucking guy's free content makes more sense than the paid courses I've taken. Let me pay this guy money. That's exactly what happened. Very happy with this purchase. For sure, for sure. Sweet. There we go. There we go. Pop this puppy over. It's hot, but instead of the air-conditioned room, I'm out here sacrificing myself. Because life's all about sacrifice, ain't it? Life is all about sacrifice. I could be at the beach club right now, but I'm here recording content. You know what I mean? One more button down because it's hot. I think that's good enough, yeah? I think that's good enough. Sweet. Let's turn this puppy on. Let me do a split screen. Let me put y'all motherfuckers over here. We're going to talk about different topics today. One is going to be about more like the inner game side of things. How do you get more conviction and certainty as a salesperson on sales calls or the way you carry yourself? How to sound authentic while still closing deals, right? Finding your own style. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about this is going to be the title. This can make prospects cry, but will add massive urgency in your sales calls. Yeah. It can be borderline manipulative when using the wrong way, but when using the right way, it can be very powerful in helping people make a transformation, as well as obviously you closing deals and money going to your own pocket as well. You feel me? Conviction and certainty. We're going to talk about that first. My sales calls sound very performative and not genuine. Perfect. Two of the videos I'm going to shoot right now is going to go over that. So stay tuned. And if you have questions as I'm yapping into the camera, let me know because maybe I can add it to the video as well. Okay. I'm going to do a quick camera check real quick. Adjust the angle. Mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test. You started approaching strangers. Incredible. Great job. 99.999% of people will never do that. Yeah, just give compliments. Fuck it. Just give compliments. You're making people's day. If somebody tells you to fuck off, then like, whatever. Maybe they're having a bad day. It's fine. Yeah, compliments are good. All right. Give me 20K. 20K more and more commissions and sales. You beat a narcissist. I had 20K a month. The same, some less, some more. Something common. And it's going to sound toxic. But when done common. It's toxic when done too much. but when using a healthy dosage, turning into lethal. Lethal. Not only sales, life as a whole. And it could change anything for it. Okay, cool. If you only make 20K monthly commissions or more in sales, be on narcissists. 20K, 30K monthly commissions in the first 3.5 in sales, but other people do the same. Some a bit less, some a bit more. Those have, and they also have this one thing in common, also this one trait in common. These top producers always have this one trait in common. And when then when done wrong, it can be very toxic. It turns to straight narcissist. But when using a healthy dosage, it's called superiority complex. They're better than everybody. Talk about that. All right, cool. Mic is rolling. All right, cool. If you want to make 20K to 30K monthly commissions, if you want to make 20K monthly commissions or more as a sales rep, be a narcissist. I got to 20K to 30K month commissions in ticket sales in my first year. Helped other people do the same, some a bit less, some a bit more. And all those top producers have this one trait in common. All those top producers have this one trait in common, and when using the wrong way, it can be quite toxic and can straight up turn someone into a narcissist. But when using a healthy dosage, could turn you into not only a lethal sales rep, but when using the healthy dosage, when using a healthy dosage, can turn you into a lethal sales rep. Not only that, but can also turn you lethal in life as a whole, and it could change everything for you. And this trait is called superiority complex, meaning that all these top producers thought that they're better than everybody. I know that sounds very bad, narcissistic, toxic. It's like, oh, that's being egotistical and arrogant. Yes and no. For a lot of people coming into high ticket sales, here's what you'll realize, right? As you take the sales calls when you go into the interviews, a lot of our shit comes out. And when I say a lot of our shit comes out, it means that a lot of our disadvantageous traits, maybe insecurities, lack of confidence, lack of conviction, lack of certainty, and that thing bleeds into different areas of us trying to become a successful sales rep. Okay, on the interview itself, maybe I've seen people too. I've seen sales rep. I say, hey, okay, apply to these roles, and it'll be roles offers where the sales reps are making 20K a month, 30K a month, 40K a month, sometimes 80K a month in commissions plus as a sales rep, which is incredible. I say, okay, apply to this role, bang, application page. And I'll follow up. I'll check in with that student maybe a week later. It's like, okay, how did that offer go? And the student may go, oh, I didn't apply. And I'll go, why not? And the student will go, I just didn't think if I was good enough to apply. I was like, brother, number one, I told you to apply. So if your coach tells you to do something, you should probably do that. Number two is if you apply, you at least have a 1% better chance than not applying at all. Because when we don't even try something, what's the probability of success? 0%, right? As opposed to if we try something, we at least have a 1% probability. Maybe it only works 1 time out of 100, but at least it's 1% better, right? When I first got into the make money online space, the entrepreneur space, my gateway drug was essentially, number one, the pickup artist dating community. And after that, it was Gary Vaynerchuk. And when I went to one of the seminars that Gary spoke at back in Salt Lake City, Utah, which is like the randomest place on earth, there's one concept that Gary talked about that still stuck with me, even maybe 7, 8 years later. Actually, about 9 years later. Actually, maybe 10 years later. And the concept is called 1 is always greater than 0. What does that mean? If we try, again, going back to it, we have a better probability. That's sales rep, or I see sales reps all the time, whether it be my students or people that are in my DMs. If you try, you'll at least have a better probability. Now, obviously, when you have a more effective framework, you have a better track record, you have better skills, then of course you'll have a better probability. That's going to stack our deck all of it in our favor, right? But if we don't try at all, that's the ultimate failure. If we don't try something, it's the same thing as if I see a girl that I like as I'm walking down the street, or maybe I'm at the bar, maybe I'm at the beach club, and I may think that, oh man, that girl's really attractive. What if I'm not good enough? And if I don't talk to her, what's my probability of success? Literally zero. Nothing's gonna happen, right? Because it's not like the girl's gonna come to me. It's like, oh my god, Brian, you're so sexy. Can you please have my babies? Maybe one day it happens, but it's not gonna happen, right? Same thing with the offers. The roles that you want, your dream roles that you want to get on, that could change your fucking life. That could change your family fucking life. If all it took was just one intro Loom video, one application, you never fucking know. Maybe after that you might do some follow-ups after. It might take a bit of more effort and creativity, but if it could maybe even make you multiple six figures a year, being able to do it from anywhere, and you can set your own schedule, isn't that worth it? Isn't that worth just getting over our fear of rejection? You know what I'm saying? So when I say a lot of our shit comes out, sales is kind of like a bait and switch. When I first got into the dating and the pickup community, it was interesting because my intention was obviously, well, it was very pure back then. All I wanted was a girlfriend and lose my virginity. I was 19 years old at the time, very lonely. I saw all my friends get girlfriends, lose their virginity, and I was just fucking clueless. I couldn't even hold a proper conversation with a human being, period. Even with the old lady that was just looking at the newspaper in the street. And so when I got into the pickup artist and the dating community, that was my intention, right? Get a girlfriend, lose my virginity. Then what I realized was a lot of my shit came out. Same thing. A lot of my disadvantageous traits, like the fear of rejection. Oh, what if I'm not good enough? All these things came out, and I had to confront that head on. I had to overcome that and fix that. And really, one of the best ways is just exposure therapy, which is just fucking get in there, dive in the deep end. And the more and more we get exposed to it, the more numb we become to it, essentially, right? So that's the same thing as the superiority complex. Is I find that, like, as an example, right? You ever see people or sales reps that seem borderline retarded, and they don't seem that well spoken as you. They're not as smart as you. They're not as qualified as you. It's not like they have a crazy track record. But for some reason, they got on the best fucking offers, and they're banging out 20K, 30K, 50K a month in commissions and commissions. And you wonder, like, why? It's because, number one, they don't doubt themselves. And number two is that they think that I can get that. Even if they're not qualified, quote unquote. Just fucking go out and get that. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not a huge mindset guy, but a lot of the success in sales and life in general, I found as time goes along, has a lot to do with our own psychology and being able to manage our own psychology. Okay. Now, obviously, through a pre-recorded YouTube video, it's very tough for me to coach you through it. It takes quite a bit of coaching, right? But if you want help with that way you can get to 10K, 20K, 30K monthly commissions plus being able to do it from anywhere, provide a better life for your family. I'm not saying you're going to do that. I'm no guaranteed income whatsoever. But we have to help our students do that, who have put in the work. Okay. Now, if you're a lazy princess, okay, you never take responsibility. You're a victim. You're a crybaby. You want somebody to get you out of bed every morning. I'm not the guy for it, unfortunately. I'm sure there's plenty of guys out there, maybe, who'll get you out of bed, say, oh, it's okay. If that is good for you, Burger King's hiring. They'll give you a guarantee that you'll make 1.5K a month. But if you're the type of guy who's hardworking, takes full responsibility, you can go to the first link in the description box right after this video. You'll see a demo of a training program, Real Sales System, how we've helped our students do the same, to retire their mother, pay their mother's mortgage, retire their girlfriend, travel around the world, and have a better life and become a better man for themselves. Going back to this. And the same thing on the sales call itself. I hear all the time, I get these questions quite often from sales reps saying that, Brian, how do I deal with A-type prospects? How do I handle A-type prospects? I get a bit intimidated. I mean, with regular prospects, I can overcome objections and I can challenge them. I do that fine. For whatever reason, prospects that are more financially qualified, that are making more money, I don't know. I know I got to challenge them. I just don't. I just hang up the call too soon. It's because, number one, we're putting them on a pedestal, right? But when we have the superiority complex, thinking that we're better than anybody, then we're not really afraid of that, right? It's really interesting because have you ever noticed that sales trainers are one of the most narcissistic human beings on planet Earth? You ever realize that? Sales trainers have the most amount of beef and the most amount of drama with each other. They'll talk shit about each other, making Instagram reels about each other, making up lies about each other. It happens all the time, right? I've had plenty of sales trainers that make up lies about me, try to make Instagram reel videos, and then later the truth comes out and they look embarrassing. And so you ever wonder why? And here's the thing, right? I have a pretty good pulse on different industries and niches. And what I've found is that there's two groups of individuals, the two groups of coaches or gurus that have the most amount of narcissism and drama in all the different species. Number one is sales trainers, and the next one is dating coaches and pickup artists. I was like, huh, that's very interesting. Because it's not like the tech guys, the AI guys, they're not doing that shit. The copywriters, I mean, they may make some Facebook posts, but not to this extent. You know, the fitness coaches, maybe, but not this much. And I asked myself, like, why is that? Because pickup artists and dating coaches do that too, by the way. They make up lies about each other. They spread scandals, all the kind of things, right? And I kind of realized, in order to become good with people or better with people than most, these people had to develop a certain level of narcissism. Because could they have gotten success with people, whether it be sales or with dating with women? Could they have done that with low confidence? You know, let's look at the two opposite extreme, right? One is extreme low confidence, and the other one is extreme high confidence to the point where it's the borderline narcissist. As much as I hate to say it, the extreme narcissists are going to have a better probability, right? Because nobody wants to fucking go with an unconfident person. Whether in a dating context, women never want to go with an unconfident guy. It doesn't matter if they're the most romantic gentleman ever. They'll say that I want a gentleman. Women don't know what they want, first of all. They'll say they want X and they go with Y all the time. Like clockwork, right? That doesn't make them bad human beings. I don't hate women. I love women. It's just that that's just how they are. And men, we are our own way. We're very logical, right? Sometimes we can come up very unempathetic, me included. So that's just the differences, right? Going back to this. Same thing with prospects. Prospects, when they hop on the sales call, they're lacking a certain amount of certainty or conviction within that specific topic. Okay? If you're selling a fitness package, I mean, they may have confidence in their business as a business owner, but they may not have certainty in their fitness and their wellness, right? Same thing if you sell a biz op. They may have confidence or certainty in their relationship, but when they come in, they lack some certainty and conviction within how much money they're making, so on and so forth. If you're selling business coaching, same thing. And so people want to be led, whether it be women or prospects. We all want to be led. People are followers at the end of the day. And so do people want to be led by somebody with less conviction or more conviction? Of course, more conviction, right? You know, I saw a video the other day of Alex Ramosi talking about the 3 traits of uber mega successful people. It's like a common traits. The first one is superiority complex. So these people, they think they're better than anybody. Second one is inferiority complex. And third one is impulse control. So this is the important distinction, right? So if we look at the sales trainers, they have let the superiority complex, the narcissism, consume them. So they'll deny it, they can say whatever, but at the end of the day, that has consumed them to just an extreme degree. You know, I've seen some unfortunate cases, which is unfortunate. So the second one, which is inferiority complex, that balances it out. So inferiority complex is basically people, like, if me thinking that, oh, I'm never good enough. Now, if I don't have the second one, which is, oh, I'm never good enough, then I'm just going to have low confidence, period. That's not going to help me either, right? But when those two things, like yin and yang, are working simultaneously, then now we can work something with it. Because if I think that, you know what, I'm better than everybody, I can do that. And we balance that, neutralize that with, you know what, I'm never good enough. That balances it out, right? So I'll give you in more practical terms. So how I would do is whenever I walk into an interview, whenever I walk into a sales call, I just walk in there like, you know, I'm the greatest salesman that's ever walked on this planet. Not in an overcompensating way, like try hard way, like, you know what, I'm the greatest sales. No. That's too much. But I just go in there like, I know what the fuck I'm doing. They need what I have. They need what I have. If I'm going into a sales call, who has the problem? The prospect does. Doesn't matter if they come in Mr. Big Hotshot. Doesn't matter. We have what they want as a business. Yeah. As a sales rep, as a closer, we're borrowing off of the authority and the credibility of the business, right? Because we represent the business. We're the gatekeeper of the business, right? So that's a superiority complex. When you go into an interview, you go in like, I can get this interview. I'm deserving of that. That's good. I go in. But when all's said and done, outside of the sales calls, at the end of the day, I always look at myself and you know what? I'm never getting enough. I still got to get better. I'm still nowhere near where I want to be. I review my sales calls. I debrief. I get feedback from my coaches. I'm like, how can I do this better? That urgency piece. I got to get better at the urgency piece. On my follow-up game, I got to get better at the follow-up game. This, that. There's always something I got to get better. When I was selling at 7th level, which is one of the largest sales training companies in the world, I'd speak to a lot of sales reps from traditional industries. Okay? So sales reps think insurance agents, real estate agents, those kind of people, right? And these guys have been in sales for 10, 15, sometimes 20 years. And unfortunately, again, same thing with this narcissistic sales trainers. Maybe I'm one of them. They have let the first one, superiority complex, consume them. Because I think like, oh, bro, I'm doing good. I'm already doing good. I'm all right. I know what you're doing. But they're stuck at 5 to 10K a month. Even if they're at like 15, 20K a month, they've been stuck at the same level for the last 5, 7 years. There's no progress being done made, right? And so that is because they don't have the second piece, which is the inferiority complex. Their ego has consumed them too much. So it's a yin and the yang. Life is full of paradox. You may think that, oh, bro, there's a contradiction, there's a paradox. Life is full of paradox and contradiction. But it's those two working simultaneously in a sweet spot. You understand? What am I missing here? Now, here's the thing. I'm not telling you to do some woo-woo affirmation manifestation shit like, oh, I am good enough. I am deserving. Let's not be idiots. Here's what I learned, right? Affirmations are pretty much like empty eggshells where we can say, like, I'm the best salesman, but when something small happens that pretty much proved that belief to be wrong, let's say on a sales call with an A-type prospect, you got pretty much demolished, or maybe you didn't close that deal. It's like, oh, fuck. Then now that belief is shattered like eggshells, like I said. So how I like to do it is pair affirmation with confirmation. Confirmation, what is that? It's basically irrefutable proof. So in my computer, I have something called a confirmation document. And when I first got into high-ticket sales, I had that. It's basically a Notion doc or Google doc, whatever you prefer. And I screenshot and pretty much link all the things, irrefutable proofs, that make those affirmations or those claims to be true. So if I say, you know what, I'm going to make it in high-ticket sales, I'm going to 10K, 20K, 30K month. Okay, but where's the proof? Well, I look at my past life experiences. I may not have any sales experience. Yeah, I know that. But what about in my past life experience? Do I have anything that could be proved correct that I can and I will succeed in high-ticket sales? And I absolutely do. So before I got into sales, I was in the military. And when I was in the military, I was given different tasks, let's just call it. And I was so bad at those tasks that my superior officers would basically say in front of my face and behind my face all day that, bro, you're a piece of shit, you're worthless, you're the worst that's ever done these assignments ever. We have no hope for you. All day. All day. I was like, well, shit. So I was being a bit mopey about it in the beginning. And then later what I did was, okay, I can do something about it. I'm not a fucking tree. So I worked on it more than everybody else on set given task. And I saw my superior officer, who's the best at this in our division? Oh, that motherfucker's really good at that shit. Let me observe how he's doing it. And I'd ask him questions, hey, sir, excuse me, I don't mean to bother you, but could I ask you some questions about like why you're doing it that way? Like how are you doing it that way? How did you get good so fucking fast? And he'd explain, I'll take notes. I'd obsess over it all day. When all my colleagues were on their off time watching TV, I'll just go back to the field and just practice and work on it. You know? At one point, my fingers started twitching. And I was having dreams about the fucking task all the time. Every day I was having dreams about it. And I was putting in 8 times more volume than all my different colleagues. And even my superior officers. And what ended up happening is that over time, I started getting a bit better. And my superior officers were like, oh shit, dude. You actually did not a bad job. Oh, thank you, sir. I take the compliment, but I keep working on it. Still 8 times more volume, violent, obsession. And over time, they're like, oh, Choi, shit, you're pretty good. You're ready to move up. So in the military, we also had a ranking system. We also kind of like a leaderboard, so to say, almost identical to sales. And then what ended up happening was that I became a squad leader of the division in the shortest amount of time in division history. So imagine, let's say you go into a big offer, because that may not mean anything to you. It's the equivalent of, let's say I go into a big offer, and then let's say I start as a DM sitter, the worst ever. I was the worst in the fucking DM sitter division ever, and everyone's like, fuck, this guy's hopeless. To becoming phone setter, closer, and becoming chief revenue officer in the shortest amount of time in company history. That's kind of like that. And so because I have the track record, yes, it's not sales, but you know what? I've done it in that other field before. So, I mean, there's logical, irrefutable proof that I can't deny because I've done it. So why can't I do it here? That's exactly what I did. I put in more volume, more dials than everybody else. I debriefed. I looked at my sales calls. I invested into tens of thousands of dollars in sales training, even when I didn't have the money. I took risk after risk. Even when I didn't feel like it, I showed up. I made the dials at 3 a.m. my time in Korea, selling to U.S. leads. And again, I'm not saying that, I'm Mr. Hotshot, da-da-da. Just to give you an example that, you know what? And I was given different opportunities too. Go sell at Sales Sniper, which back then was the largest sales agency in the high-ticket sales space. And then 7th Level, which is, I was like, fuck, that's my dream company. But I didn't back off. I was like, I don't know if I'm good enough. It's like, fuck, I'll take that. Give me that. It's the same thing in dating context, right? Even if the girl says, oh, I'm not into Asian, I was like, doesn't fucking matter. I'll still come talk to you. I'm not into short guys. I'm 5'6", 167 centimeters. I'm still gonna go talk to you. You can tell me to fuck off, and in the dating context, if you tell me to fuck off, then I'll fuck off. That's fine. Like I'll go because 1 is always greater than 0. Right? It's the thing where in my first ever sales job, I looked around the Zoom room. When I was number 23 out of 25 in the leaderboard, I looked around the Zoom. I'm like, these guys are not better than me. These motherfuckers are not smarter than me. And it pissed me off in a good way. And I use that anger because anger is greater than sadness as long as we're not using it to harm people, right? And I channeled that into action and feedback and skills and consistency. And that's what has helped me. And going back to the dating context too, yeah, like I'm gonna go. I was like, you know what? This girl, a lot of times, I used to have a lot of approach anxiety, right? Meaning that I was a bit anxious, scared, and going up talking to the girls. What if I'm bothering them? I don't know. Am I good enough? I don't look that good. I just came back from the gym. Da-da. I still kind of have that a little bit to this degree, but a lot better to the point where I just go and talk to people, right? I'll just go because in my mentality, I'm just thinking, oh no, that girl's just bored. She's so sick of talking to men who cannot lead, who cannot make plans, or just no personality. She's going to have a lot of fun being in my life. I'm just going to go in. At the same time, I'm always thinking, you know what? I still got to get in better shape. I'm still working on, being more financially successful, becoming more better spoken, becoming more charismatic, becoming more emotionally grounded, working on myself every single day. So again, it's the paradox and the balance and the yin and the yang working together. Make sense? So again, if you want the same help, not only the tactical side of things, but also instilling just beliefs and helping you do the same, get the 10K, 20K, 30K a month in commissions. You know, we've also had people that hit 100K months running a sales agency or going to sales operations from the skills they learn inside of a program. Okay, no income guarantees. I'm not saying you're going to do the same thing. But again, as I said, it's not just about the money itself. It's not just about the life we can have, but also who we become, as cliche as it fucking sounds. Because like I said, sales is a bit of a bait and switch, man. We come in wanting to make more money and have more freedom, and yes, it can give you that as long as we work hard and we get the right help and we show up day in and day out. But at the same time, who we become as a person, we just become unrecognizable. Who I am right now, I'm unrecognizable to the person I was 1 year, 2 years, 4 years ago. And who I am 4 years from now will become unrecognizable from now, and that is the whole point. So let's become unrecognizable. Or the first thing in the description, and let's talk. Sweet. Sweet. How'd you guys like that one? I'm gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna answer some questions. Yeah. It'd be funny if the fucking audio didn't record. Let me look at the fucking audio. Okay, I think it audio recorded. That would have been hilarious. That would have been hilarious. My intention is to repair. All I wanted to do was fuck bitches. True. Very pure intention. Yeah. That was good. Yeah. What was your biggest takeaways? What are some of your questions? Drop in the chat. I see some more people joined in. I'm going to shoot 2 more videos. What were your takeaways and questions from that video specifically? Drop in the chat. I'm going to be right back. Were you guys able to hear that, by the way? Or should I put this closer? Like this. How to sound confident? You hear everything? Phenomenal. Okay, you learned how to sound more confident. What an identity close. Absolutely. And the thing is, I shouldn't have to identity close each and one of you. We should all be identity closing ourselves every single day. If me identity closing you helps you, phenomenal, but as a little boost. But we should be closing ourselves every day. We should be objection handling ourselves every day. And that's what we do. During boxing, I'm like fucking gassed, out of breath. I'm like stopping a fucking bitch. That's my objection handling to myself. Wild Buck says, "Hey yo, what's up, Wild Buck?" Yeah, I mean, my objection handling to myself. I don't do the empathy shit to myself. I don't go like, "Yeah, man, I hear you," you know. I don't do that shit to myself. I just go like, "Stop being a fucking bitch," or get left behind. That's my objection handling to myself. How to apply for our program is pinned in the chat. Do you see it? I'll drop it again. You can see a demo. If you're a crybaby or a victim, please do not apply. I don't got the mental space for that these days. But if you're a hardworking person that don't need hand holding, who's a great executor, then you can go to the link, see the demo, and apply. Yeah, Psycho Cybernetics is a good book. I actually have that book in my room. I read that a couple times. It's good. Atomic Habits also goes over it briefly, I think. How do I become a bestseller on my team? Bro, there's so many fucking things. What's your biggest bottleneck? The broader your question is, the broader the general the answer is gonna be. The more specific and concise your question is, the more specific and concise your answer you're gonna get. Do more dials than everybody else. Exude competency in the way you carry yourself and speak. Speed to lead. Frame the homework. And frame the pre-call nurture assets well. Work your pipeline. Have non-negotiables and hit the non-negotiable KPIs. 100 dials a day is fucking nothing as a setter. It's like a 1 hour work. It's a 1 or 2 hour work day. Yeah. I would aim between 6 to 10 quality bookings a day. How much volume are you doing? How many dials a day are you doing at the moment? Give me all the stats. How many dials a day? Don't bullshit the data. How many dials a day on average? How many pickup? How many pickups go past 30 seconds? And how many bookings are you doing? And what's your short rate to the sets? Yeah, dude, I've had students that come from door to door. They knock 100 doors a day, and I see setters knock like they walk and they fucking drive around and they knock 100 doors a day. And there's setters out here thinking 100. I remember my buddy got an intro loom video from like a setter applicant, and the setter applicant legit goes, "Hi, so she's a woman. So I just graduated from She Sales Academy. I'm a hard worker. I work 4 to 6 hours a day, and I do 100 dials a day." I'm just like, wow, you're really hardworking. I'm not making fun of her. It's just, maybe it's not her fault, right? Maybe it's just that she's been taught that way, which is unfortunate. But yeah, they've been taught that mentioning that they're in like XYZ Female Sales Program Academy in the interview, in the intro interview, they're all taught that that gives them an advantage. When in reality, it basically fucks up their chances of them getting that fucking role. It is really unfortunate. So if there's any female sales reps watching this right now, I made a video on Instagram about this too before. You saying that, I'm from XYZ Female Sales Program Academy, in your intro video on the interview, please do not do that. Please do yourself a favor. It's not like all female sales programs are bad. It's just that in the industry, it has such a bad connotation. So even if you're in the best female sales program ever, unless it is like actually known, not like the course and the guru is claiming that is known that way, but is actually, which I haven't found. It's just all female sales programs right now have a bad connotation. And the reason for that is because how they sell these women into this opportunity is saying that, you can work 3 to 4 hours a day, lay down calls. You can go to your Pilates, you can sip your matcha, and you'll make 20K a month, girl. Like that's how they sell these women into these opportunities. I'm not here to play white knight, by the way. I'm not here to say that, what they do is wrong or what I'm doing. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it is such a detrimental thing going into the industry. And I know this because I'm in different masterminds and I'm friends with different business owners that are doing 7 to 8 figures a year. And obviously I'm connected in the space in terms of with sales managers and whatnot. Like, they make fun of these female sales programs, academies. Like, they laugh, they make fun of these. It is what it is. So, we've had majority of the people in the program are men, but most cases, like some here and there, we'll have like females coming. We have like a few female students right now, and I told all of them is like, hey, don't say that Don't say that. Oh, I'm from XYZ. Female sales program encounter. Do not say that. And one of them's a top setter on our offer right now. The other one just onboarded into a really solid offer where the top closers are making like 20K to 40K a month. Not OT, but they're actually making that. That business is doing about 1.5 mil a month. Millions of subscribers on YouTube. Okay, past month you did $222 a day on average, 330 per. Okay. Wait. Yeah, your show rate is good, 67%. So I think you mean in the last month in April, you did 94 sets. Yeah. Which is, how many is that? Like 23 sets a week, which is about 4 to 5 sets a day, it sounds like. That's not bad. If you can get that up to like 6 to 7 sets a day, that'd be pretty solid. Depending on the ticket size too. I don't know the context. I don't know like the price point and the AOV and the cash collected, those kind of things. 13% set to close rate. What is show to close? As a setter, I said this last night on the live too. If you're a setter, just give all your sets to the best closer. That's how you do it. You do not give, especially if you're top setter on that offer, you do not give your sets to the shitty closers. Never ever give your sets to the shitty closers. If you're top setter, give all your sets, and even if you're not a top setter, if you have the option to, give all your sets to top closers because they have the best probability of closing. And when I said top closer, be careful because some closers cancel their calls to try to close rate max. But as long as they're not doing that shit, closers that are fucking dogs, highest close rate, highest cash collection rate, highest AOV, they follow up the objection handle like a motherfucker, give all your sets to them. Princess closers deserve nothing. And vice versa, if you're a top closer, then you just want to get your sets from the top setter. So we're gonna move on to the next video. I'm gonna grab my battery in a little bit. It's a bit hot. So nice. All right. We're gonna move on to the next video. Someone asked about how to sound authentic. So this video is also gonna go over that. I think Matthew, you asked that. This video is gonna go over that too. Although it's a bit hot, still the breeze isn't that bad. Yeah, what do I think of like those AI voice agents thing? I think that's what you mean. Yeah, Matthew, we'll talk about it in a few minutes. Not a problem, dude. And if you have specific questions about that topic, let me know, and maybe I can include in the video also. I guess these lives are good, huh? Like I'm giving you guys what topic I'm gonna talk about, and you guys in real time can tell me maybe what I was missing when I was kind of mapping out the video. Because the videos are for you, really, for the most part. Yeah, the AI voice agents, I found that, I mean, they sound clearly like AI. Yeah. I've gotten a call from a few of them. And the moment I realize it's AI, I don't want to talk to them, so I hang up. I'd rather talk to a human being and a very competent human being. Not like those call center agents from Philippines or India and Pakistan. Nothing wrong with them. I don't hate them. But it's just that the language barrier and like they don't get to the point and they don't come off competent. That's what I have a problem. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about how to. The title is gonna be called this, right? Stop trying to copy Jeremy Minor. Do this instead. And basically, in this video, I'm gonna be talking about how to sound. That sounds so fucking fluffy, but how to sound more authentic, or how to sound more true to you, while still basically doing a good job on the sales call. Essentially, basically, how to not come off fake. You more feel like you're kind of being yourself, so to say, while still helping the prospect and doing all the things that need to be done on the sales call in order for the prospect to move forward, essentially. So if you have specific questions about that or specific things you want me to cover, then drop in the chat right now because I'm about to dive into the video in a couple minutes here. Stop trying to copy Gary Minor. You'll bleed deals. And not just Gary Minor, but any social media. Any social media can try to copy. I was trying to copy other social media myself, but I was getting more confused. Burning news, you had money. I felt fake. I felt exhausted. But then I let it tweak. And once I made that, so getting better results. Much more enjoyable. All right, I'm gonna grab my battery. Last chance to drop those questions, and we're gonna dive into the video, right? After I'm done with this, I'm gonna get some more work done, and then we're gonna go out to dinner here in Dubai. Maybe one day we'll. Actually, I don't know if I can live stream going to dinner. I don't want to put people on there. If it's per, yeah, but we'll see. All right, my mic. That's a good question, actually. How would you go about defining what's authentic to ourselves? Maybe I'll cover it. You know. Alive and thriving indeed. Blessed to be alive. Blessed to be alive, baby. Absolutely. All right. Turn on the motherfucking camera. It's better charged. All right. Mic test, mic test, mic test. We rolling, baby. We're rolling, baby. You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to copy Jeremy Miner. You'll bleed deals. Okay, cool. Sweet. Stop trying to copy Jeremy Miner. You'll bleed deals. And not just Jeremy, but any other sales trainer or any other sales reps that are on your team that you're trying to blindly copy. I'm not trying to copy other sales trainers. When I was trying to copy other sales trainers, other sales reps blindly, I was getting more confused. I would burn leads who had the money and get frustrated. I felt fake, and I'd feel exhausted by the end of the day. But then I made this one tweak, and that tweak allowed me to get better results, close more deals, help more prospects, and actually calls started becoming more enjoyable. It felt more true to myself, as fluffy as it sounds, but true. I'm a top producer. I'm a former top producer at 7th Level, one of the largest sales training companies in the world. Also a top producer at Sales Sniper, back then the largest sales agency in high-ticket sales. I've helped other sales reps and multi-million dollar sales teams double, triple, quintuple their sales. Help them pay for their mother's mortgage, travel around the world, retire their girlfriend. The first point. And the first reason why is and the first reason why just blindly copying a sales trainer or other sales reps is a detrimental thing, and it'll also have the backwards effect, is because your personality and their personalities are oftentimes different. So I'll give you one example, okay? So when I first got into sales, I first started to copy Jeremy like we all do, right? So what the typical Jeremy lines where Jeremy goes, let's say you hop on a call, Jeremy goes, "Hey Scott, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. Just being the boring guy out here. I'm doing good. Just staying out of trouble. You staying out of trouble out there?" And in the beginning, I just blindly copied it because, oh, Jeremy's doing it, so I should do it. And the intention was there. It's just that I didn't see through the whole point of why he was doing those things. And so because I didn't know the mechanics and the principles behind it, I just tried to copy it. I'll get some, laughs and cracks from prospects here and there, but also feel very weird and very fake inside. I'd feel very uncomfortable. And sometimes I'll see that from the prospects also. Sometimes the prospects will kind of be like, yeah. They'll be kind of be awkward, weirded out. And until the end of the sales call, there'll be like a weird, awkward vibe going on that I couldn't quite pinpoint. And obviously I couldn't close a deal. and I just feel exhausted at the end of the day. And so I was trying to wonder why, and it took me very long to realize that, well, shit, dude, Jeremy is in his 40s or 50s. He does dad jokes and uncle jokes. I'm in my 20s. I don't do dad jokes and uncle jokes, as funny as they are, right? And so, because the reason why those jokes really work well for Jeremy is because, well, that's Jeremy's personality. That's Jeremy's sense of humor. So, of course, it's going to work well for him, and he knows why he's doing it. As opposed to me, it's like, okay, I don't talk like that. I don't talk like that at all. Same thing with the question of like, do you do you like what you're doing for a living? I asked that to try to get the problem from the prospect, but I just felt so weird and awkward and so uncomfortable. Again, better than before. I'm like, huh, do I have to say this? Do I really have to say it this way? And it took me a few years later until I realized that, like, oh, like I don't have to talk like that. Okay. Because first I understood, okay, cool. So the whole point of why Jeremy does I'm just being the boring guy is to disarm the prospect and help them open up, right? So I start to basically modify, okay, like how can I do it basically my way while still getting the job done, understanding the principles? And I had a click moment because one time I saw a student, he's bald, and in the beginning of the call, he would be like, he would hop on the call and ask the prospect, "Hey Susie, how are you?" And then Susie would go, the prospect, "Oh, I'm doing good. How are you?" And my student would go, just being bald. And I just thought that was really hilarious. I was like, but he did it in his way. He didn't do it in like an uncle joke, dad joke kind of way. So I'm like, he just did it because that's his personality. He's just going like, how's it going? Very friendly, very outgoing. What's my personality? Well, I mean, I can be outgoing, but a lot of times mine's more dry sarcasm, right? Mine's very dry sarcasm. It's almost like borderline nonchalant. I was like, okay, what would I say? Okay, I mean, I'm Asian, so I could start saying that, you know. So a prospect will hop on. I'll be like, "Hey, Zach, how you doing?" And the prospect go, "Oh, I'm doing good, Brian. How are you?" "Oh, just being Asian. Tough day at the office." And I'll say it with a straight face, not like just being the boring guy. I wouldn't do that. I was like, I just did that, and 9 times out of 10, the prospect will just start chuckling. It may not be a ha 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 ha. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I'd have that too. They'll just crack open. But a lot of times it's just them just having a little chuckle, like, "Oh, ha ha, that's kind of funny." And that was enough for the prospect to start opening up. And I found it funny. I found it funny, but not just in a way that I found it funny, but it's offensive to the prospect or whatever. I found it funny. The prospects found it funny 9 times out of 10, 9.9 times out of 10, and it'll get the job done. And so that was one example. Another example too of the two truths question, the problem question, going, do you like, instead of that, right? I saw the then former CEO of Seventh Level, Matt, him asking like, "You like it?" Oh, I could ask it that way. So I'll start asking, instead of "Do you that whole spiel," I'll just go, "Okay, you like it? Is it working? Okay, how's that going?" I'll just do that because that's what I would ask in a real life conversation. If somebody told me, I would ask them, "Hey, so what do you do for work?" And they say, "I'm an accountant." Okay, how's that going? That's what I would ask to a person if I'm talking to them in real life, right? Because I'll never, in a real life conversation, I'll never say, "Do you do you?" I'll never, and I'm not mocking certain sales trainers at all. It works incredibly well for them. For certain personalities, they can pull it off. For me, it just wasn't it. You know what I'm saying? Especially, and a lot of people tell me too. It's like, "Brian, your style resonates with me a lot more because that's how I talk, and that's how basically it resonates with me a lot more." And that's one of the biggest reasons why people are coming to our program, which, by the way, is Real Sales System, where we help people hit 10K, 20K, 30K a month in sales, high ticket sales, and commissions. Okay, being able to do it from anywhere in the world, set your own schedule. Okay, our students have paid for their mother's mortgage, retire their girlfriend, travel around the world. Okay, take their partner on a holiday. We've had students that start their own business from what they learn inside the program, a sales agency or sales operations, hit 100K months. I'm not saying you're going to do the same. No guarantees. If you want to save, cushion guarantee. I invite you to go flip burgers at Burger King instead. They'll give you a guarantee that you'll make 2K a month. You have to clock in, clock out. But if you're a hardworking individual who takes full responsibility for himself, you don't need someone to get you out of bed. You already sold yourself on why you need to make a change, why you need to improve yourself. You can go to the first link in the description box below right after this video. You can see a demo of our program, how it works, and you'll be able to schedule a consultation call if you're eligible. That being said, that's one of the biggest reasons why people come into our program because, Brian, like, yeah, your style resonates with me a lot more. It's less fake. It feels more genuine, authentic. Whatever word you want to use it, that is fine. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the question of like, has that had an impact on you? I first asked it that way. I got some responses better than what I was doing before. Before I didn't have any framework, right? So I'm giving credit where credit's due for sure, right? But then I started tweaking a little bit. It's like, okay, how would I talk? Okay, what's the whole point of the question? The whole point of the question is to basically ask the prospect, uncover how the problem is affecting different areas of their life. It could be how is it affecting their life, how is it affecting them personally, mentally, emotionally, or their business, depending on what we're selling exactly, right? So I started asking, depending on what it is, I was like, okay, well, I mean, what's that been doing to you? Okay, how's that been affecting you? Okay, what does that do? You know what I'm saying? So if the prospect says that, oh yeah, I'm just not making enough money, man. I'll just go like, okay, I mean, what are you not able to do because of that? I'd ask it that way, right? I'm still coming off curious and concerned, right? It's like, okay, what are you not able to do because of that? Well, I'm not able to take my family out on vacation. Oh wow. Yeah, I can be tough for sure. I mean, how do you feel about it? You know? The whole question is like, how does that make you feel? I did that too. I just feel super uncomfortable, not in a good way, right? Because discomfort can be good when we're making a change. But it was just like that. It's almost like my entire cell in my body was resisting in a bad way. Don't get me wrong. If something's good for me and I know I got to do it, I know the discomfort is good, right? But in this regard, it just wasn't it. It just felt so. It's almost like every cell in my body was telling me, yeah, don't ask it that way. It was just, it's like my cells were resisting. And so instead of going like, how does it make you feel? I just go, okay, like, how do you feel about it? Okay, what's your thoughts on it? Okay, and when you know you want to take your family out on vacation, but you can't because you're not making money from the job, what goes through your mind? I would ask it that. I'd tweak it a little bit to like, I ask myself. I became a critical thinker. What would I say? How would I phrase this if I talk to somebody in real life? You know what I'm saying? And I had to do some split testing because just because I'll say something in a real life doesn't mean it's the most effective thing, right? Sometimes it can come off the wrong way. Sometimes it's not the most effective. So I had to do some split testing and figure out. It's the Venn diagram, right? It checks both boxes, which is, okay, I would say this in real life. That's more suiting to my personality, so on and so forth. But it's also effective on sales calls. It checks both boxes. So it was those aha moments for me, which came from a lot of trial and error. Something's had to figure things out on my own because I wasn't able to get answers from certain sales trainers, which is fine, right? So I found that that's really the progression. So number one is basically model after. Okay, so there's three steps, right? Number one is model after, then modify, and then innovate. Model after is basically if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, just like how I was when I first came into high ticket sales, right? Or when I was at a plateau. I'm like, I need something to model off of. So I'll go to somebody where, like, as Jeremy as an example, like, okay, like obviously it's working well for them. Let me just model off it to the T, right? I did that, got a bit better results than before, but also some parts is like, I don't know. I'd give it enough iteration. Obviously, I'd get feedback and whatnot. So I'll do that. I'll get a certain point, and then I'm like, okay, how can I modify it to work it well for me specifically, right? So I wouldn't throw out the baby out with the bathwater. I wouldn't change like everything completely, but I'll tweak it a little bit. I was like, okay, let me just make this small tweak, modify, right? So instead of going like, how does it make you feel? I'd go like, okay, I mean, how do you feel about it? Okay, what's your thoughts on it? I'll do that, right? And then later on, when you get to advanced, which is for most 99.9% of people watching this, not that. And then we start to innovate. We start to start and test random shit on sales calls. Not the whole thing, but like I remember what would happen if I did this. You know what I'm saying? So that's really that. Okay, model after, modify, and then innovate. For most people, innovate is really not needed. It's especially when you're first starting out, hitting your first 10K to 30K a month comes. We don't need to worry about innovate, but like just model after and modify. That's really all we need. Right? Something's out there working to a certain degree better than how you're doing it now. So let me just, instead of just using our fucking brain cells, let's actually kind of not use our brain cells. Like, let me just model after that. And as long as you execute properly and you give it iteration, you practice it, like get feedback, it'll work better than what you are now, as long as you're following a decent framework. And then after that, you can slightly modify to what worked for you. Okay. Next points. The second reason why just blindly copying other sales trainers or other people, other salespeople, were not effective was that I didn't fully understand the principles and mechanics behind why a technique works. So prime example is different analogies that I hear from different sales trainers, right? I heard this one analogy from the then CEO of 7th Level Matt. And his go-to analogy would be something called an island analogy, which basically goes something like this, right? Oh, that makes sense because we all make decisions based on our perspective, right? Well, the problem is, how does that thing go? It goes something like, okay, picture yourself in an island, okay? There's a whole bunch of water, nautical miles, okay? You're stuck on an island. Now, if you want to get off that island, you got to take 3 main steps. Number one, you gotta believe that the mountain is there, right? To be able to see the island as a whole. Second thing, you got to pick a direction. Third thing, you got to keep walking. The problem is most people don't pick a direction. Most people don't keep walking. It goes something like this, yada, 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 right? And so when I was just like, okay, being a good student myself, I would just be like, you know what? Let me just copy and just memorize it. And I did that. I memorized it. I practiced it. I used it. But for some reason, it just wouldn't land that well with prospects. And I could tell oftentimes prospects wouldn't know what I'm talking about. They just feel lost and confused. And I wonder why. I was like, I mean, it's working well for him. Why it's not working well for me? Maybe it's not a good analogy. It's like, could it be? And then later I came to the conclusion that, I don't even know the point of this analogy. So why should the prospects know the point of this analogy, what I'm trying to say? That was a light bulb moment for me. I was like, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. It only is, again, few years later. Hindsight is always 20/20, right? It was only a few years later then I realized, as far as I understood, the whole point of the analogy is like, it's basically used with prospects who have a bit of fear, right? I don't know if this is the right next step for me. Maybe they get that fear objection on a sales call after the price drop. And so the analogy is basically designed, as far as I understand, it could be wrong, is designed basically to help the prospect understand, well, you got to pick a direction and you got to go, bro. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck on that fucking island. You're going to be stuck in the same situation, not making enough money. Your business is going to be stuck. So you're going to pick a direction and try something. That's going to put you in a better position. I could be wrong, as far as I understand. So as soon as I understood that, it's like, okay. It started working a bit better because now I have more conviction behind it. I understand it. If the prospect doesn't understand, I can elaborate on it. I can rephrase it. You know what I'm saying? And then later on, I started modifying it. I would basically give like small stories of when I was in their spot, when I was in their shoes, where I had that fear. Maybe I didn't know what to do, but I told myself that, I got to do something anyway. And I just moved on, and that just put me in a better position. And I started getting better results from that. Okay. That is very important because these analogies and the reframes and the stories that you see on Instagram videos or YouTube videos, even from mine, it may sound cool, and those are designed to get more views. But it's totally out of context. Totally out of context. I see salespeople using the wrong analogy and the wrong objection all the fucking time. And it just doesn't work, and the prospect gets confused, and the prospect's like, what is this guy talking about? So and I fell into that trap too. So it's very important to understand the principles and the mechanic behind it. Okay, when is this analogy used? What's the whole point of the fucking analogy? The whole point of an analogy, period, is to basically help the prospect understand the point you're trying to deliver in a more visual way, in a more easily digestible, understandable way. You know what I'm saying? And so each analogy you read from story needs to be designed specifically to help the prospect overcome their specific objection. Very fucking important. Okay. So if you want help implementing the right analogy, right, using an effective sales framework for your specific personality, so you don't feel fake, you feel more natural, you help more prospects, you close more deals, get the 10K, 20K, 30K monthly commissions, and high ticket sales. Okay. Again, no income guarantees here. But if you're a hardworking individual that takes full responsibility for himself, who's a great executor, you can go to the first link in the description box below. You'll be able to see a demo of our training program, Real Sales System. If you're eligible, be able to schedule a consultation. See you there. Sweet. Ay, ay, ay. You'll have any question, drop in the chat. What were your takeaways and questions from that one? Let me know. I'm going to take a quick break. The next one's a bit juicy. Y'all are just staring at me. That works too. That works too, baby. How can I sell AI receptionist to business? Bro, that's such a broad question. Please make your question more specific. I can give you a more specific answer. How can you sell it? Talk to them, book sales calls, close sales calls. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, isn't AC beautiful? What's going on, Matt? Oh yeah, AC is a beautiful thing. Which method of outreach is best? I don't know, man. I don't know your market. Maybe it's cold ads. Am I now about AI voice agents? I'm not about it per se. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, if it works, it works. Yes, I know what an AI voice agent is. I'm gonna take a bit of a break and then shoot the next video. Y'all don't have any questions, it's fine. Just watch me. That works too. Alrighty. Let's get this show on the road. Let's get this show on the road, yeah? What is up? Sorry, bro. Dubai is 4:15 p.m. right now. Yeah. A lot more peaceful. Okay. Sweet. Next video, we're going to talk about how to add more urgency. This can make prospects cry a lot massive urgency in your sales calls. Do I teach door to door or cold calling? No. Typically, people come to us because they don't want to knock doors anymore. They just want to sit at home from the laptop and click buttons to talk to leads. In a nice AC. It's gonna be summer soon. Holy fuck! A nice seat, nice air conditioned room. Joshua wasn't door to door, knocking 100 doors a day, fucking driving around hours for appointments. Was it $5,000 a month? Came into the program, got into high ticket sales, got to 12K a month in 4 months from his house, not having to leave his house, which is great. Warm leads, by the way, not cold calling. They requested information. You like being outside? More power to you. Outside office? Outside of? What do you mean outside office? How would you do a prospect saying get to the point demo if you're trying to ask them questions? I mean, if it's a cold call, then you kind of might want to give them some info. Otherwise, they're like, dude, I don't know what the fuck you guys do. Is high ticket sales saturated? I mean, yes and no, depending how you define it. Does any business, if you're good, businesses want to hire you. I mean, we have students right now that are hitting anywhere between 10K a month to 40K a month comms. We've had students start their own sales agency or go into sales operations and get to 100K a month. I'm not saying you're gonna do the same thing. It's just like anything, right? If you're bad at it, then yeah, like it's gonna feel like it's saturated, and it's like you're not gonna be able to get opportunities. But if you're good, it's just like it's a dating market. It's a dating market, right? I mean, it's a dating market saturated, of course, especially with more attractive women. Very, very fucking saturated. Yeah. But some guys will be getting the nines and tens. Someone's fucking them, right? Someone's fucking them. Same thing is someone's getting those roles. Someone's getting those top offers. Go to the Brian after this. Go to the Brian Choi reviews page. Like, those guys come from different backgrounds. Some already in high ticket sales. Some come from door to door. Some come from corporate sales. Some come from zero sales experience. Period. hitting anywhere between 10K, 30K a month plus. I mean, with that regard, things like door-to-door sales is fucking saturated. Insurance is saturated. Everything's saturated. What's my monthly income goal that I want to achieve one day? 1 million a month profit. With that regard, let's jump right back into it, shall we? Why not? Why fucking not? There we go. There we go, baby. Yeah. Apparently, this battery lasts 24 hours, which is wild. That's what the salesman told me when I bought it. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'd like to believe it. I gave the sales guy a tip, by the way, because he doesn't earn commissions, I think. Or maybe he does, I can't remember. But it's like either very little commissions or he doesn't earn commission. He was like a retail sales rep. I walked into the store. Like he did such a good job. He didn't sell me. He's like, well, just try it on, try it on. I was like, I don't know, man. Just try it on. You'll see. It's fine. I was like, oh shit, okay. Like, now look at this. Now look at the noise canceling feature. It's like, oh shit. I bought it on the spot, and I gave the guy a tip. I put cash in his hands. Yeah, great brother. Although mic test. Mic test, mic test, mic test. Oh, I just realized in the mirror you cannot see Burj Khalifa. Fuck me. Oh, I gotta go all the way here. So unfortunate. Whatever. YOLO. YOLO. If y'all have questions, drop in the chat. What's the price of your coaching program? Expensive. I like how two people asked that simultaneously. It's expensive. So if anybody's watching this and you're dead broke and you're not willing to get the money together, please do not book. But if you have the money, you're serious, and or at least you're willing to get resourceful, then you can book. When I say willing to get resourceful, I mean, don't get me wrong. We've had people that didn't have money. Like Tyler is an example. Dude, he had no fucking money. Tyler had no fucking money. He was on a dead end offer making fuck all. But you know what he did? He borrowed money from his mom. Will I be on the sales call or will it be someone else? If you're serious, I'll be on the sales call. If you're not serious, then I will not be on the sales call. What was I gonna say? Yeah, Tyler, he was making fuck all. But all he knew was that, dude, okay, I can tell this guy can fucking help me. I'm not here to be fucking average. So he, on the sales call with me, he calls his mom on the spot. Like, Mom, I need this much, which is high four figures. To call up his mother. If needed, potentially broken up. Anyways, calls his mother, be like, Mom, I need this much. And his mom was like, what? Tyler, if this is a scam, I'll kill you. Tyler's like, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. So he piffs on the call. That's called being fucking resourceful. When I was broke, I would sell shit around my house. Owen, as an example, Owen was making decent money. He was making 8K a month. He was making six figures a year, but still he wanted to make more money while having more free, because he was working like manual labor, being 3 months away from his family. So he comes in, he went and got a second job, did that for a week, came back and got into the program. Before he was making 8K a month, being away from his family, working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, manual labor. Now he works from his house, making 28K a month, setting his own schedule, being able to do it from anywhere. Tyler went from making like $500 a month to 10, 15K months. He went from living in Canada, cold fucking Canada, to going to Spain, sipping sangria with fucking beautiful Spanish women in the sun by the beach. That's called being resourceful. It's just that most people, they give up on their goals and their dreams and who they could be way too fucking soon. They're like, oh, I don't have the money, so I can't do it. Oh. And they wonder why they're unhappy. They wonder why they have all those problems. It's unfortunate. It pains me to see, but I mean, more for us, I guess. More for people like you and me, right? All right. Let's go. All right. This can be prospect cry, but will add massive urgency on your sales. This is to be used to caution. This can make prospects cry, but will add massive urgency on your sales calls. This is to be used with caution. I was a top producer at 7th Level, one of the largest sales training companies in the world. I was also a top producer at Sales Sniper, back then the largest sales agency in high-ticket sales. I've trained sales reps. I've trained sales reps and multi-million-dollar sales teams to double, triple, quadruple their sales. And one of the key reasons, we've been able to do that is by adding massive urgency on the sales call. Not by doing discounts or whatever weird sales tactics, or even, we're not even going to talk about consequence questions. It's actually quite positive. But when I've used it, it has made grown men cry and actually helped them move forward and make a change in their life, close more deals, obviously make more money. Everybody wins. It's called the moment in time. Okay, this is a technique or concept I learned from the then former CEO of 7th Level, Matt. I just modified it into my own version and just tweaked it for what works well for me. Okay, so let me share my screen. Wait, hold on. Present mode. Fuck. So let me go ahead and share my screen and share you something from our training program, Real Sales System. Okay, it's called a decision tree. Okay, the sales call framework that I was using to become a top producer on the most competitive sales teams in the industry. And same thing we license out to our students to help them become top producers at their respective offers in their companies. And so we're gonna go into hold on. And we're gonna go into the desire section of the sales call. Okay. So at this point of the call, I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, okay? But at this point, we've already opened the call. We've helped the prospect realize what the problem is. How is it affecting them personally, internally, mentally, emotionally, or their business, depending on what you sell. We've gone over, okay, what have they tried before? What have they looked at? What are they looking at an ideal solution? We've already gone over that. And we're here where we go over, okay, by them solving the problem and them getting their desired outcome, how would their life or their business, again, depending on what they sell, how would that change? And more importantly, why is it important to them? And building up the desire. Okay, so urgency isn't just from the negatives. Urgency isn't just from, discounts. It's not just from pushy sales tactics. It is not just from pain and problem. Okay, that is just one component. Although I don't really do guarantees and discounts to add urgency. Pain can be a powerful motivator for sure, but on the other end is yin and the yang, right? On the other spectrum, we have the other positive side, which is the desire, right? People often we take action because of desire, right? We just want to feel good, and we want to have a certain amount of desire, depending on what it is. And so the whole point of the section is, okay, how would that look like? Okay, not just from like a tangible, logical standpoint, like what would they be able to do, but also having them visualize and imagine what it would be like, which adds the desire to it, the demand of what they want and why they want it, which goes and help them move forward. Okay, so let's go with some tactical stuff. Okay. So essentially, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna make up a random example. Let's say you sell some sort of business coaching or content offer. Okay, you help businesses grow their business by implementing organic social media presence into their business. Okay, which we train a few reps selling this exact offer. So we're gonna ask them. Actually, let's rewind that. Let's go over a biz op example. That would be easier than this. So let's go over a typical biz op example because most people sell biz op. Okay, so maybe you sell, I don't know, helping people start a marketing agency, maybe start a real estate business, passive income, maybe an AI business. We train a few students in different types of biz op, right? Ian, one of our students. Actually, let me not put that. Let me just go over this. So basically, let's just say the prospect they have not been making the most amount of money. They want to make more money, right? So let's say they said that they want to make, I don't know, 20 grand a month. Okay. So I may ask them, okay, so let's say we help you with accountability, give it the step by step. You get to 20K a month. How would your life maybe look different from it is now? What's the biggest motivator for you? So I tweak it that way and I ask them. And if you notice, the way I ask is I look up on purpose. I slow down. Have you noticed that? I'm not just going like, okay, so let's say you're able to make 20K a month. How would your life be different from it is now? What's your biggest motivator? The reason why we don't want to ask it too fast or monotone is because if we ask it too fast, it's just going to go over the head. If we ask monotone, it's going to go over the head. We're not going to be able to pull out the emotion and the desire and the demand from this, which defeats the whole purpose, right? So what I'm going to do is like, okay, so let's say you're making 20K a month now. How does your life look different than maybe it is now? If you look, I looked up, right? That was not on accident. That was not because I felt awkward and I looked away. No. I looked up on purpose because I'm looking up as if I'm imagining it. What is that like? What does it look like? Okay. I think this is like some NLP fucking technique. I'm not some fucking nerd. We're not gonna circle jerk about that. But I just look up a little bit, like, yeah, what does it look like for you? What's your biggest motivator? So when I look up, it's gonna cue. Oftentimes, when done properly, the prospect will start looking up to there like, well, they kind of mirror you. Okay. In the dating world, I learned a terminology and a technique called the law of state transfers. Well, it's really a principle. Okay. In psychology, I think they call it emotion contagion. What it basically is whatever we feel, the prospects feel. It's just like in dating, right? If I feel awkward and stiff going up and talking to a girl, guess what the girl's gonna feel? She's gonna feel awkward and stiff, right? As opposed to if I feel more relaxed and fun, she's gonna feel more relaxed and fun. So in this context, I'm gonna imagine it, right? I'm just gonna like, yeah. So you making that as if like I just been through what they've been through. Like I was right making 5K month to 20K month, right? So you're making 20K month. How does your life look different than? And again, I'm slowing down. I'm pausing it. What does it do? It gives them time to process and internalize the question we're asking them. So I don't do this for every question. Every question, if we do that, it's going to lose its meaning, right? There's got to be some contrast. I was just in London a few weeks ago. And the reason why I actually appreciated the London cool breeze was because I've been in Dubai, and as amazing as the weather is, it's warm and sunny. But sometimes you need one thing contrast, right? And it started getting a bit cold. I came back to Dubai, and I really appreciate the warm weather. If we don't have contrast, we don't appreciate it, right? If we're not hungry, then we don't feel the satisfaction of being full and eating food. If we're not thirsty, we don't feel the satisfaction of actually hydrating ourselves. Same thing. So contrast. Other parts, I may have asked it more casually, right? Oh man, how's that going? Okay, what about this? You know what I'm saying? But here, we want to get more weights. So I'm slowing down. It's like, you be able to do that. I mean, yeah, I mean, how does your life look different? What's your biggest motivator? I end the last part. I had the last part. What's your biggest motivator? Basically, I want them to give me their big motivator, not like a nice to have. I don't want. It would be kind of nice to travel, right? If you look at. Oh wait, hold on. We're at the wrong part. There we go. Editor, do not put the initial flowchart. We're gonna add this. At this part, as I'm asking that. Let's just say you're able to do this. What would that allow you to do? All right, cool, sweet. So I'm basically asking them, okay, like what's your biggest motivator, right? Now at this point, they're gonna give us one of two different types of answers, right? And also, the century, by the way, gives their students this is called a sub-communication. Sub-communication, how we're supposed to deliver the words. Everything besides a verbal. Our facial expression, our tonality, body language, overall vibe, and aura and intention, everything working simultaneously. Because we've all heard of saying it's not about what we say, it's how we say it. Absolutely true. I mean, I'll say it's both. It's about what we say and how we say it. Absolutely. Okay? So, slow the fuck down. And then after we ask, okay, so let's say you're able to do this. I mean, what would that allow you to do? What's your biggest motivator? Then we're going to get like a nice to have or more strong driver. And we want obviously the strong driver, right? Green means good, right? That's an ideal answer we want from the prospect. And that's what's going to help them. Red is what's not going to help the prospect, what's not going to help the sale. So when we phrase it that way, I found that I get better answers. Yeah, what's your biggest motivator? You know, you being able to do that, how does your life look different? What's your biggest motivator? Slow down, and I ask it. Then we get a strong motivator. Maybe they say, I want to retire my parents. Phenomenal. Great. So we know that's a pretty good motivator, right? But let's just say they give us a nice to have, right? They may say that, yeah, I mean, I could travel a bit more. Or they may say that, yeah, it would be nice to save up. Does this sound like a strong motivator to you? No, it does not. But why? Because they either verbally or sub-communication, it sounds like a nice to have, right? They say that, it would be nice to save up. They're literally spelling out it's like a nice to have, not something important. Or the way they say it is like, I could travel a bit more. We can tell it's a bit nonchalant, it's not that important. But if they go, yeah, I mean, listen, I really want to retire my parents. We know that's important, just the way they say it, verbally and non-verbally, right? So what do we do if we get a nice to have option? Then we simply go, okay, so it's like a nice to have or actual strong driver for you, and they're gonna say, well, yeah, it's like a nice to have. Okay, at that point, then we reframe that and we challenge them on it. Okay, then we go, okay, so what's an actual strong driver for you? Because if you're gonna put time and effort into something, then the juice has to be worth the squeeze, right? So what is a strong driver for you? Because this is gonna help you. So whenever we get a lack of compliance from the prospect, or we don't get that depth of an answer, then what we can do is we can state the reason why this question is important, and we frame it to their benefit. That's my go-to that I basically train to all the sales reps that I train. Reason why. Okay, so if you're going to put time and effort into something, this is the outcome you're going to get needs to be worthwhile. That's the reason why. But we're framing it to their benefit, because if it's just a reason, but if it's not to their benefit, What's the only thing the prospects give a fuck about? Everybody, themselves, right? Which is fine. So it's like, okay, cool. State a reason why, frame it to their benefit. This is gonna help you. This is gonna help you make it happen. They're like, oh, okay, I see why he's asking me that. I see why this question is important. I see why me answering the more strong driver is important. Then at that point, we get a strong driver, ideally. At that point, we basically probe. There's not specific exact word tracks for it because it is totally contextual depending on what they say. I mean, don't get me wrong, we get common things, right? We get common things like they want to retire their parents, maybe they want to take their family out on holiday, maybe they want to retire, maybe they want to leave something behind for their kids, things like that, right? Maybe they want to retire their wife. So at that point, depending on the context, we can ask about time frame, why that's important, and then we're literally going to go into something called a moment in time, okay? And then basically how much is needed. As an example, let's say we're talking to a man and he wants to retire his wife. I'll be like, that's amazing. I want to reward them a little bit, positive reinforcement. When they do a positive behavior, aka opening up about their true driver, then we want to reinforce that by rewarding them, by showing that that's a good behavior. That's going to prompt them to repeat that behavior. So I'm going to go, oh, that's amazing. I'm going to say, like, that's amazing. By when? Time frame. You know what? I would really want to retire her by the end of the year. Okay, that's a great goal. So, I mean, besides you obviously being her husband, why is that so important to you? Where's it coming from? So I ask it that way with weight, and I pause, I slow down, and I stop. Okay. Okay. So besides the obvious of X, Y, Z. Okay. Besides the obvious of you being her husband, pause. Why is it so important to you? Then, where's it coming from? Where's it coming from? That's gonna prompt a more deeper answer. Maybe he says that, you know what, I really hate her seeing going to work because I hate her basically having another man telling her what to do. He didn't tell us that before. We would not have known unless we asked it that way. The reason why I like to put besides the obvious of that, besides obviously you being her husband, let's just say that they want to retire their parents. Besides obviously them being your parents, why is this so important to you? Why is it I like to ask it that way because they may be like, well, because I'm their son, well, because I'm her husband. That's a surface layer answer, right? But besides the obvious of surface layer, deeper answer. Right? The example of why besides the obvious of you being their son, why is it so important for you to retire them? Where is it coming from? And they may say something, when my parents come from, they're immigrants, they come from China, they've done so much for me and my siblings, I really need to pay them back. Deeper answer. We're building up the desire, aka urgency. You see what we're doing? I want to make sure you understand the principle and the reason why we're doing this. Okay. So we're gonna probe. Okay. And then we're gonna go to the moment in time. The moment in time is basically taking them to the moment when they achieve that desire. So if they want to retire her wife, taking him to the moment, right? We're gonna use some fucking Jedi shit here. We're gonna take him to the moment inside of his brain, to the moment he finally retires his wife. We're gonna take them to the moment where they finally retire their parents. We're gonna take them to the moment where they finally buy that lake house, whatever the desire is. Okay. Well, when they finally tell their boss to fuck you, I'm quitting. They're like, okay. So you being able to do that, you coming home one day, and you say to your wife, "Hey, baby, don't go to work tomorrow. I got you." What is her reaction? Pause. What do we do? So you being able to do X, Y, Z specific graphic thing. Not just saying like, hey, you being able to retire your wife, how would that feel? That's not bad, but this is my twist on it, okay? You being able to just set it up. So I like to include other people's reaction if other people are involved in their desire. Okay? Let's say they want to buy a Ferrari. Who's the first person you want to show it to? If I know it's a younger guy, they want to show it off to girls, I'm going to be like, yeah, dude, how do you think girls will look at you? Oh, they'll look at me. You know what I'm saying? So, going back to this. Other people involved. So he wants to retire his wife. So the other person involved is his wife, right? What's her reaction? So, okay, you being able to do XYZ specific visual desire. Pause. Let them internalize. Let them imagine. Let them picture it. What's her reaction? What is her reaction? Have them picture it. Oh man, she'd be so proud. Oh, she'd be crying. So you being able to come home one day, you give your mother a call. It's like, hey mom, you've been working way too long. Don't go to work tomorrow. I got you. What's her reaction? Oh wow, she'd cry. I've literally had grown men cry here. I don't say that as a flex because it's really not. I'm just saying this to show you how powerful it is when using the right way to obviously help the prospect get out of their way, take action so they can improve their life. Which is a byproduct, obviously we close more deals and we make more money. But this is a byproduct, right? So, oh wow. Now you're imagining their reaction. And then after we get that, then I go, yeah, and what does it mean for you? What does it do for you as a son? What does it do for you as a husband? What does it do for you as a provider? What does it mean for you as an identity? What does that do for you as an identity? Oh yeah, it would make me proud, it would make me feel accomplished, it would make me feel like the man. Yeah, for sure. So you see what we did? So urgency isn't just from negatives, pain, and consequence. That's just one piece of it, right? Maybe we'll talk about other parts in the videos as well in other videos. But based on positive desire-based selling is a very powerful tool as well when executed very, very properly, effectively. So listen, watching basic YouTube videos is cool. You may try this, but maybe you don't execute it that well, which happens all the time, right? You may think you know kind of what you're doing, but you're not, and maybe you burn some leads and you lose deals, or the progress is a lot slower as opposed to if you just got the right feedback, got coaching, you could just shortcut the progress a lot. Because I can take a look at me personally. I can take a look at your role plays, your sales call recordings, where you're fucking up on what you do in the role so you can double down on it or tweak it. And oftentimes, I often find the sales reps are just a few tweaks away. Okay. So if you want that help, that's what we help our students in instead of a program real sales system. Okay. Where we help our students get to 10K, 20K, 30K monthly commissions as a closer. Later on, students have used what they learned inside the program to start sales agencies or go into sales operations, going to 100K a month. Okay. I'm not saying you're going to do the same thing. Absolutely no income guarantees. If you want a safe, cushy guarantee, I suggest you go flip burgers at Burger King instead. They're hiring. You'll get a safe, cushy guarantee when to clock in, when to clock out, how much you're going to make. Okay. But if you're the type of person that's willing to get outside the comfort zone, you're hardworking, you're a high-level executor, you're intelligent, think you can go to first link in the description box below, see a demo of our program, real sales system. If you're eligible, schedule a consultation call. I'll see you there. All right. There we go. Oh my God. Shit. Maybe we answer some questions, yeah? Is he reading comments or not? No, I wasn't. I am now. A lot of questions. I'm gonna answer a few questions and then I'm gonna bounce. Get me? How do you build good cost of inaction on a B2B offer or 30K package? Only qualified buyer already does 5 million in revenue. So there's just be an opportunity for them to scale to 5 million to 10 million. So there's not much pain in there. It's more of a selling in the opportunity. So I'm really struggling with the consequence part of what happens if you don't. What do you sell exactly? What do you exactly sell? What's the prospect's common pain and what's their common desire? If you just sell B2B, I don't know what you mean exactly. Are you selling like a content offer or what are you selling? It really depends. And the framework is the same. You just tailor it for that. It's not for them, the consequence doesn't sound like, oh man, I'm gonna go broke and go homeless. It doesn't sound like that. But it may mean that they're losing out a certain amount of revenue. It may mean that they're Federico's his best coach. Nah, I just pretend to be. I'm not. It could be that they're losing a certain amount of revenue. It could mean that they're losing out on market share. It could mean that they're losing out on talent. It could mean that they have to let go of certain staff. You know, so B2B is like, okay, what are the possible ramifications if, and you insert in whatever they said was the problem or whatever they said was the desire, and what happens if they don't get that, or what happens if the problem continues, whatever a bigger driver is. All right, I've been on for 2 hours. I'm gonna bounce. Peace.